Good morning, everyone, and a happy Wednesday. It is Wealth Wellness Wednesday. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss Lady Canada, live from a very blue sky. Winds are down, Vero Beach, so I'm hoping to get some pickleball in sometime this afternoon. But good morning, everyone. I am with two
Sisters. Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva. And I will say with some kind of wild hair today, this definitely will be going up at some point, maybe even during the broadcast. We never know.
Yeah, you never know.
On the tagline for Wealth Wellness Wednesday, I also put it's good to be back in a routine or something to that effect. And I typed it out real fast. And those taglines, or however you want to refer to them, just come to me in the moment as I'm getting everything set up. And I just want to share with everyone that, being on a routine for me is a milestone. And my mindset after my injury, although I still have it, but it's fine. I'm doing great. I would say that I'm 95%. But getting back in that mindset, getting back in that routine, no matter where you are, maybe if you had a cold or, you couldn't work out, whatever it may be, but getting back into that routine feels so empowering. So I'm sharing my mindset, my triumph, and my wealth, wellness, wisdom. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, that is awesome. And, what happens typically as a new year, now we're obviously in the second month of the new year, transpires, you will notice, and there's so many companies that are doing this, health challenges, weight challenges, some of them have money attached to them, and I almost find them comical. I have to say that in a way, because if you're not addressing and being authentically you, what is the point? Why put this facade out? We all have to take that mindset to really work hard towards our goals, right? You got to work at things to achieve them. You got to work towards them. And if you shortcut the journey, you're doing a disservice to so many. Now, we always talk about Wealth Wellness Wednesday because we talk about how you should have a healthy relationship with money and what having more money, how you can impact the world, your community, your family, your local church, whatever it may be. So frequently what happens in the beginning of the year, there are a lot of these health challenges, and now a lot of companies are taglining prize money. And I apologize for the little chirp in the background. Our battery needs a new battery. Our battery fire alarm doohickey needs a new battery, so it's chirping a little bit. So no, I don't have a bird too. Janice is the one with the bird. I do not have a bird. But anywho, when you embark on a journey of health and wellness, which guess what, guys? The journey never ends. You never meet the final destination if you're being authentically you, because there are times in our life where we derail from that journey, right? Where maybe there's things that are not in our control, which we talk about that a lot. And I find it interesting that, besides the usual new year, new you, transformation, a lot of companies now are enticing people with money to achieve that. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think that's an awesome thing that you're working towards, but what are you working towards? And I want to, I guess, be clear on that. Are you working towards winning the prize money? Or are you truly working to change your life? If you're doing both, that's awesome. But many people are not. And what happens is when you dangle carrots over a transformation, people cut corners. And what I mean by that, we're in a digital world. We are very much in a digital world where people can edit their pictures, filters, not only the usual ones with trying to narrow our look, but some are actually widening the look because they're in this contest, or several companies that are doing them. And I thought, man, I happened to be scrolling Facebook this morning, trying to get some updates, see what's trending, what's going on in the world. And I know several people with several different companies are involved with their own weight challenges. And I thought, wow, I just saw you 3 weeks ago post a picture and you looked amazing. How did you, put on like 50 pounds in 3 weeks? Now, I guess it could be done. I've never heard of anyone gaining 50 pounds in 3 weeks, but I guess it is possible. And I thought, what a kind of a flip-flop people are doing with health and wellness, because part of the journey is showing your before and afters. And when you do that, you belittle your own journey, because you're putting a facade out there that you're either too heavy and you're going through this transformation, or you were already healthy and you doctor it up, or throughout the transformation, you don't lose what you want, so you just kind of edit that too. And I think that's the disservice of some of these programs. Now, I hope that people truly jump on board. Yes, the carrot is nice, but really because you're doing it for the best of you, for the good of you, for your legacy, for your health, for your longevity. For me, the prize money is the icing on the cake. But if you dictate the icing on the cake as why you are doctoring what you're doing, are you really a winner?
Well, there's some truth in that, but I'm going to take it a little bit from a different perspective. Oh boy, there's that word again. My apologies. I'm trying to be better about that. When we embark on any type of wellness journey, and I'm not just saying a fitness challenge or whatever your wellness journey means to you, we always talk about pen to paper and how that relates with the mind and getting it on paper. There's a connection there. So let's say you're watching the TV. You're sitting on the couch. You probably should have gotten up a half an hour ago. You promised yourself that you were going to take a walk and you just don't feel like it. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I've been there and I've done that quite a few times. I'm not going to lie. And then a commercial comes on. Hey, you sitting on the couch out there, have you put on that quarantine 15? Well, boy, do I have a great program for you. And this is what's going to happen. And you're going to lose all this weight. Just take this pill. Well, there's the connection. Mind to the TV, and boy, did that get your attention. It certainly has gotten mine. Have I fallen into that trap? Yes, I'm guilty of that a couple times. I don't do that anymore. But what does that tell us about the pressures of any type of media, whether it be TV, whether it be, excuse me, an ad that you see on Facebook, whether it be something that you heard maybe one of your friends chat about, and you go on Google and you do a little research on it. And isn't it interesting that when you go back in your Facebook feed, you see all that stuff relating to the quarantine 15. What if you just took a moment to challenge yourself for you, not for anybody else, but challenge yourself to create a wellness pattern? I've heard it referred to as a pattern. I like calling it a routine. However you call it for yourself, where is that going to lead you? When you create something for yourself, and maybe it's, a little from here, a little bit from there, and then you kind of make it all your own on how you want to proceed. Think about that for a moment. If you just took the time to kind of take the blinders off, put the things over your ears. You know what's in your heart and soul. You know what you're capable of. You know what your good faults are. You know what your bad faults are. I have a couple bad faults. All right, maybe more than one, but
We all do. I mean, and that's the point about, your journey needs to be authentic, because the joy of the outcome to that point, because your journey does not end. That would be like saying, you live your life, you reach this pivotal moment, and then, what do you have to look forward to? And that's why, for me, the journey always continues, because we have outside sources that influence our lifestyles. You go through a sad time. Some people, and I kind of like get PO listening to it, but some people that are under stress, they lose weight. I, however, do not. If I'm under stress, I gain weight. I do not have that luxury. And so how I approach things is always just be authentically you. It's okay to derail. It's part of the journey. And if we're going to be real and authentic, you have to validate the times that you sucked at it. You have to validate the times that I didn't want to go into the gym, or I didn't want to go for that walk, or I didn't want to lift those weights, or I didn't want to go for that run, or I didn't want to meal prep. So many people don't even like to meal prep. These are all characteristics of normalcy of going through any kind of transformation. So you have to embrace that. But when you cheat the system, and I'm going to get a sidebar in a little bit on cheating the system in a totally different direction. How good does the reward feel knowing that you cheated the system along the way? So that's why I really feel, now we know marketing is marketing in any kind of industry. And I do understand the value of a before and after, if it in fact is true, and if it's authentic, then yes, go ahead and do it. But if you're going to utilize old photos from when you were maybe at your heaviest, or doctor photos a little bit here and there, who are you kidding? Who are you fooling? Because it's kind of easy to find out, especially if you go on someone's news feed. You say, well, wait a minute. 3 weeks ago, they looked amazing. They worked really hard. It showed. How do they go from there to putting on another 50 pounds in a few weeks? Sometimes, in some cases, days. And I thought it was kind of, I saw it more than once on several different people's posts. And I thought, what are you going after? Are you going after the carrot, the monetary carrot, or are you going after the soulful carrot, the transformation? So I just wanted to keep that out there, because there's a lot of different programs going on. Now, totally sidebar, as you know, we are also digital warriors. We provide health, wellness, mindset, what's going on in our world. And it's always incorporated how it affects ourselves, because the outside world does impact our health and wellness, whether it's going to add stress, whether it's going to add joy, whether it's going to put you nervous, whether it's you're going to have a sigh of relief. All those things go into how you feel, and how you feel is reflected in your own body, your heart, mind, and soul. So obviously, the buzz that has been going on since 2021 started was obviously kind of the leftover baggage from 2020. So now that we have this new administration in the White House, a lot of people have questioned critical thinkers. Some of them use the term conspiracy theorist. And there's definitely some of those out there, so I'm not going to disregard that. But most digital warriors are critical thinkers, meaning let's put several scenarios down on a table. Let's do some research and see if we come to the same conclusion, or is this particular subject, whatever's going on, leading in one direction. So we know that with President Trump, he wanted to break away from the one world government. He was pretty vocal about it. And people were really starting to understand, well, what is the one world government? What does it mean? And there's a lot of different things. We could be here all day talking about them. So on a short note, it really is basically it boils down to a few people that are really running the world. Population size, medications, money, finances. It just is. You cannot deny that there's too much information, so I'm not even going to try to open someone's eyes up. You have to actually do the work yourself. And a lot of people are concerned because of all these executive orders that are being, the dictator, and that is what I'm calling the person that is in the people's house, because you can't govern with a pen, and that is what he's doing. And that is the sign of a dictatorship and or communism. I don't know, I think have been maybe over 40 executive orders, and a lot of people that have not been doing their homework, enlightening themselves and educating themselves cannot understand this. Well, it boils back, and I finally found an article because a lot of people doubted, that's not what, Joe Biden is doing. This whole one world government, doesn't exist. So there's an article actually at the Wall Street Journal I found Thursday, April 23rd, 1992. And guess what the headline is? The headline reads, "How I Learned to Love the New World Order." This is from 1992, guys. This is when Biden was a senator, okay? And one of his lines was, in fact, let me get to it. He learned to love, this is actually when he was a senator in Delaware, and he explains that America's sovereignty, I can never pronounce that correctly, to the United Nations is established as a one world. He wants to change everything back to pre-President Trump, because the one world government was on a direction, and they need, the United Nations, they need the United States involved with this. So he learned to accept it because he felt that this was the only way to protect people, to make sure that, the poor were taken care of. It's a whole conglomerate, but it's a very interesting article, and it's from 1992. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. So it's one of those things where people, sadly, because of the way our digital world is set up now, are not privy. They're just not privy to really what's going out there because it's not presented. Most people don't do their due diligence in finding out information about a person who they're voting for. But he is very much, and I've actually, it is posted on my Instagram account, the article. If anybody wants the actual article, I have it in digital copy, and you'd be surprised what he says in it. I'm not going to go into all the details, but it cements the deal that that's what he wants, that he embraces this one world government. And that, my friends, is going to cause havoc on your health and wellness, because you're going to see, wow, it's already happening. It has been happening, and it is solidified in the reasons of why he is signing so many executive orders. Because a lot of people have been asked that. I don't understand why he's signing. He's trying to, if you understand that there was actually a 16-year plan in the works, starting with one president that led to another, except that President Trump kind of put a wedge in between what they were going to do. So that is why he is showing America by being that dictator with a pen. Let's get a pen out here, and I'm just gonna, this is all I'm gonna do all day. I gotta take a nap in between, but let me just sign these orders. And he's due, from what I understand, to sign four or five more today. Everyone says it's so highly unusual. Why would he do that? He'll do it because he embraces the one world order. This is what it's all about. So if anybody of our listeners or viewers want to contact me, you can email me at I don't even know what I'll give you my personal email, cream58@gmail.com, actually cream1958@gmail.com. You could also message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I will more than happy share the actual article dated from 1992 of what Senator Biden at the time from Delaware thought and where he is today. And you will see the correlation. Pretty scary.
Yeah, and as you were chatting about that, as of yesterday, the person in the People's House has signed 28 executive orders. He's compared to Franklin Delano Roosevelt from 1933, who in his first month signed 30.
Well, he actually signed more than 28, Jan. He's up to over 40 now. They haven't updated, but as of yesterday, he was at 40 something. And he's supposed to sign 4 or 5 more today. It's pretty scary that somebody signed that many exec orders. And if somebody wants to see the executive orders, if you go on, I think it's gov.com, you will see they do sometimes take a few days to load up, but you will see that his exec orders are there. And it's alarming at best, but a lot of times you can really understand, because a lot of people say, I didn't, I voted for him, he didn't really campaign, I didn't really know what he's about. You do some digging and you will find that there are articles of where he was. And here, this article is in the Wall Street Journal, and it's from 1992. So I don't know how many years ago that is. Can't do math that quick, but it's a long time ago, guys. So that tells you his mindset has not changed. He does accept the one world order. That's what he wants for this country, where the President Trump, 45, was trying to obviously break away from that. And that is why he wanted to put the power back into the people's hands, not into this one world government. However, the person in the White House now, currently in the People's House, does not want that, is reverting back to the old way. That is why you're going to see a lot of things reverting back to Obamacare. You're going to see, obviously, with the borders and immigration, everything is going to, and you know what, maybe it had to be that way. Maybe people really needed to see, because Lordy, we already know the few times that he did campaign, he already backed off on that fracking, not fracking, fracking, not fracking. And actually, I believe there is actually a Democrat senator that came out against him, a senator or rep that is actually Democrat. I can't remember, I just saw that flash through my post, where he believed in the Keystone Pipeline and was not a fan of that, and thought the timing, the first day you're in the White House, this is the exec order you're signing. So sadly, it's kind of almost like faith. For Christians, for Jewish, whatever your faith is, you have your faith, you believe it, you don't physically see anything, right? You may have symbols within your synagogue, your church, your place of worship, but you have just an understanding of deep faith that you don't need to see to believe. But sadly, in this case, there are many that have to actually see. So for me, we are entering in an unprecedented time. It's a painful time, but it's the only way for people to open up their eyes. And so many people now are having buyer's remorse, and it's playing havoc on their health and their wellness, because they realize that even though the machines did what they did, and there's another interesting article on that, a judge from, I want to say Pennsylvania, I'm not 100% sure, has overturned the release of maybe it was Wisconsin, Missouri, I don't know which state it was. They're going to release the findings from the Dominion machines from the election. And his conclusion was that these machines, the flaws, and I say that in quotes, in the machine were a direct correlation of fraud and manipulation of the numbers. And Dominion did not want this information being released to the public, but the judges overturned that and said, no, the public needs to know. And that is a win for the good guys. That's a win for the patriots, because so many people do believe that, rightfully so. There's a lot of evidence out there. And so I challenge all Americans, your health and wellness is going to be put on notice, because we're going to be going through more trying times. Do your own due diligence, find out information, connect with people that maybe might know something more. And it's not a question of us to change your viewpoint. So I want to make sure that we're really clear on that. That's not our job. Our job is to correlate what is going on in our worlds. We've done that from the get-go of the onset of TwoSistas, was to correlate our surroundings and how it affects our health and wellness. So while people want to shut out, understandably so, they want to shut out politics and all of that, it does play havoc. The stock market, all people are chatting about the penny stocks and the manipulation with that. So all these things do affect our health and our wellness and our mindset. So we're here to provide you with information, with tools. And I challenge you, do the research. That's your call to action today. Do the research yourself. Don't get so, down that rabbit hole that you're going to drive yourself kooky, because there's a lot of information out there. Take it by small bits, because when you do that, digest it, read it, put it aside. Otherwise, you will find yourself in that rabbit hole of almost to the point of no return, and that will affect your health and wellness, and we don't want that. So we're just here to help provide you with some information, maybe get your mind working and thinking. And again, it's not our job. It's no one's job to blame someone for the way they voted, but you also have to understand, though, there are consequences for how you voted. And that's something that's going to be hard for a lot of people to digest. Like I said, I call it buyer's remorse. I have so many people that have contacted me and said, oh, why didn't I listen to you more? It's not a question that you have to listen to us more or listen to somebody else more. We're encouraging you to take charge. I look at it from, I want to leave this world a better place for my children and my grandchildren. And that's why I do what I do. That's why digital warriors do what they do. They know long-term longevity. They want to leave the world a better place. And it makes me very unsettled, wondering what our world will be when our grandchildren are older, and will they have the same freedoms that we had as children and as adults? That's scary.
It sure is. And I just want to reiterate that we are definitely not here to change your mind and saying this is what you should do. That's not at all we are saying. We are just kind of highlighting what we've seen, what our research has shown us. And I think with research, you always need to be open to the possibility that your mind may change when you see it. That's not, again, we're not telling you that once you read this document, this should change your mind. No, it's to open up the possibilities of what is out there, what is real, what is fake. Well, we know it's fake, but what is going on in the world today? We certainly don't know it all, but we're trying our best to keep that education process going. And on that note, we have a great lineup for next week, and we're going to talk about that more tomorrow and fill you in on our 3 guests. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva, and I am here with TwoSistas.
I had to unmute because of that beeping noise. I wanted to make sure. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live from a not so windy Vero Beach. I'm about to get my healthy on, embracing the day, spreading that wealth, spreading that wellness, and sharing the message. Be kind to everyone, regardless of their viewpoints. You have to be human first, and being human is being kind. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. It's that simple. The golden rule. It never goes out of style. You guys have a great Wealth Wellness Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow for Trending Thursday. I wonder what will be trending.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.